There are many characters in the world of Spira. Many of them have been subject to a very specific way of life due to circumstances out of their control, with living in fear under the shadow of sin, and many of the denizens of Spira always being cautious and never knowing when or where sin may strike next. There are others who have had to suffer consequences due to the actions of those who were once close to them, making them rather tragic characters. That is the fate that befalls the next character in our series of lore videos as we take a closer look at Tromell Guado. Tromell Guado was a Guado born sometime before the events of Final Fantasy X. He is primarily known as the steward of Seymour Guado, and is often seen tending to Guado Salam if he is not carrying out orders from the Maester. It is evident that he shows extreme loyalty to the Guado race, and by extension, Seymour himself. In a way, we can see this through how he presents himself, as he treats Seymour and Jiskel with the utmost praise, as well as greeting any guests they invite with open arms in Guado Salam. We can also see this when he immediately becomes hostile to the party for killing Seymour without an explanation, as well as discarding the evidence that proves Seymour's act of murder, stating that the Guado take care of Guado affairs. According to the Final Fantasy X Ultimania Omega enlisted in the wiki page, Tromell had a wife who also aided him on his duties serving Jiskel Guado, who was the leader of the Guado at the time. In fact, she aided Tromell in taking Jiskel's wife and her infant son Seymour to Baj Temple to live in exile. But on her way back to Guado Salam, a horrible tragedy struck when she was killed and became a fiend. Despite the tragedy of his family, Tromell remained loyal to his duties and to the leaders of the Guado and continued his daily life, with him not making any mention of his family during various interactions with the party during Final Fantasies X and X-2, and only focusing on his duties on serving the Guado leader and improving relations between the Guado and the other races of Spira. The party first meets Tromell when they enter Guado Salam, where he leads them inside the manor while waiting for Maester Seymour. Here we get the sense that he is the caretaker of the manor inside Guado Salam and is proud of his race, when he rejoices at the appointment of Jiskel and afterwards Seymour as Maesters of Yevon and the inclusion of the Guado race in it. Seymour himself is in awe for the praising of Tromell before engaging in business with the party. When we see Tromell and Link Macalania escorting Yuna to the temple after defeating the Albed under Seymour's orders. After the battle and the defeat of Seymour Guado inside the temple, Tromell is in shock and brands the party as traitors for killing a Maester of Yevon, even disregarding the evidence that Jiskel had left behind of Seymour's treachery out of anger towards the party, and sends Guado to chase them. After Seymour was branded a traitor and his actions were recognized by the population of Spira as evil deeds, there are those who harbored hatred for the Guado as a result. This was prominently shown in Final Fantasy X-2, as we see a recurring storyline with the Ronso, particularly Garrick, who swore revenge against the Guado due to the actions of Seymour 2 years prior. Seeing his former position as the assistant to the Maester of Yevon, Tromell had become the de facto leader, as well as the spokesperson for the Guado tribe, who have taken into hiding in the Macalania woods, having been driven out of Guado Salam due to Seymour's actions. We see the former proud Guado Tromell become a sudden tragic character as he hides from the wrath of the Ronso and others who have been wronged by Seymour in the past, making me almost feel pity on him and his tribe. He finally acknowledges the reason the Guado find themselves in a state is due to the actions of one man, and over time, assuming the correct actions and options were taken throughout the story of Final Fantasy X-2, reconciles with the Ronso and the two races show a path forward, as well as the Guado returning to Guado Salam to reclaim their throne, and Tromell Guado officially taken the role of leader with the support of the musicians from Macalania Woods, who support the appointment. In a different timeline, if Yuna, Riku, and Pain fail to stop Garrick from exacting his revenge against the Guado, they are killed off, including Tromell, making him a main character that can be killed during the game. And that ends the rather proud and tragic tale of Tromell Guado. As someone who did not possess any significant qualities, his loyalty and pride towards his people made him a formidable character, as well as the leadership role he undertook as his people were under aggression by those who have been wronged by his master were exceptional, and with the help of Yuna, Riku, and Pain, was able to conserve the Guado tribe and begin life anew in Macalania Forest. I know a lot of you who have watched my videos on Seymour and his lore understandably do not like him as a character, which is why I find Tromell Guado to be a character of such tragedy. While I do not like Tromell Guado as a character in the game, I can appreciate his loyalty to his race and his resolve to protect and lead the Guado through their times in exile while being hunted by the Ronso, making him a respectable but naive character in my eyes. If you enjoyed this lore video, please be sure to leave a like and comment on what you think about him. Consider subscribing to the channel if you wish to see more content, and other than that, this is Enzo signing out, and that, as they say, is that.